One.
Hi, everyone. I'm real estate coach Craig Proctor, and welcome to the Craig Proctor Real Estate Show. Today, my special guest is longtime member and Craig Proctor coach Marc Gastineau from Arizona. Marc, thank you so much for being with us today.
Absolutely. Glad to be here, Craig.
So quickly, give everyone the backstory on you, how we met. You've been with me for a long, long time. You're now not only a successful realtor, but a coach within the Craig Proctor system. So how did all this begin?
Yeah, so we're going in our 26th year of selling real estate full time, and 18 of those years, I've been paired up with you and your organization. It came about, I think it was '06. I got an email from you that you're going to be at the Desert Ridge Marriott, and Susan and I, our business, we were kind of stuck at that time. I'd been the same production level for 3 years, and I thought, you know what, we gotta check this thing out. It was just a quick walk from our house to the Marriott, and from that day on, from within the first couple hours of sitting in the super conference that you were putting on, we just latched on. I didn't know at that time that it was a coaching organization. At that point, you really didn't kind of pitch that until day three. So for the first day and the second day, I was just figuring out, how do I hitch my wagon to this guy? And then on day three, you said, "Hey, well, what if we coached you?" I'm like, "Ooh, yeah." So we were the first one to the back of the room, turned in our form. Didn't know how I was going to pay for it, but I just knew that we needed to do something. And it's just been a game changer. So that was about 18 years ago. It just completely revolutionized our mindset, how our business worked, why we were doing the things we were doing that weren't working. You gave me clarity on that. And then we just started changing things as quick as we could. And then I guess it was about 10 years ago, you asked, "Hey, you and Susan have done a pretty good job of implementing our system. Would you like to coach some people?" And Craig, I thought, yeah, I don't know. I guess give me one or two and let me see. And it turned out to be something I really enjoyed. I get a lot of energy in seeing other people succeed in their business, because I know this: if we can help people succeed in their real estate business, their family improves, their marriage improves. There's no money stress, or at least not to the same degree. So it's just a win-win all the way around. So I still have a sales team, and I coach. So it's kind of half and half throughout the day.
Yeah, we're pretty lucky. We're in a really positive business where we can help people, yeah, not just change their business, but have a positive impact on their lives.
That's
So
right.
let me ask you this: for those that are watching that are newer to Craig Proctor, maybe you're not really
Mhm.
familiar with what we do. What do we do, Marc? What is from your vantage point, what is the Craig Proctor system? How would you describe that to realtors that are unfamiliar?
Yeah, I just think that probably I mean, that right out of the gate, it would be, as realtors, what we're taught is we're taught to do traditional open houses. We're taught to do image advertising. We're taught to do all of these things that just basically shine the spotlight on us, not on what the buyers and the sellers are needing or wanting. So one of the things I remember learning on within the first month of coaching with you, was the term WIFM. Our buyers and sellers are thinking, well, what's in it for me? Your glamour shot of you looking good standing next to your car doesn't help me as a buyer or seller. So that's one of the first things that I remember 18 years ago, and certainly what we coach on today is changing how we communicate with our current clients as well as prospective new ones. And so the messages are always, you've kind of coined this word, the unique selling proposition. How are we unique? How do we differentiate ourselves from all the other real estate agents that are out there? So like on day one, what you did in our business was you kind of had us sit back and look at what we've got going on. Why are we doing what we're doing? And is it working? And the answer was so many times no. And so then you started kind of directing us to how to get change responses in the eyes of our buyers and our sellers, and really be to them what they need and want.
You know, when you and I start to work with real estate agents, we do begin with what are you doing and why are you doing that? And so much of what agents are doing is not really getting them the results that they want. It's more or less that's what I was taught to do. You get into real estate and they say go do this, and you do it. Who are we to ask when we start in real estate? I did the same thing. So did you.
Yeah.
So by taking a look at what you're doing and the results that you're getting, and then we introduce agents to new ways of thinking and new approaches. And with the Craig Proctor system, there is no cold calling, there's no door knocking, there's no sitting in traditional open houses for 4 hours. There's no doing floor time. So I usually start off explaining to a realtor what we're not. We're not any of that stuff that you're traditionally taught to do. We don't tell you to spend money on pretty boy advertising that just says, I'm number one, or I care about my clients. Instead, we introduce them to direct response marketing.
That's right.
And direct response marketing, by virtue of its name, means that you're going to offer something that people really want. And you're going to get an immediate direct response. So you sent me an email today, before we got started, about the approaches that are working best with the Craig Proctor students that you're working directly with.
Mhm.
So if you're newer to us, okay, first of all, thank you for being with us here today. We're here not just to promote me or Craig Proctor coaching, but we want to actually give you some really good information, some good things to think about. So please do check in. Let us know in the comments below what marketplace that you serve. And go ahead, feel free to ask questions. And Mark and I will either answer those questions while we're still live here today, or we'll answer your questions when we get finished. But we'll make sure every inquiry, every question gets followed up with. So Mark, let's begin with some of the things that are working really, really well right now, and conversely, what doesn't seem to be working.
Yeah, and I would say one of the benefits of being a coach is that I am able to be in the intricate parts of so many people's businesses, whether it's from the West Coast in California to the East Coast in Florida, up in the East and West Coast in Canada as well. So it's pretty cool to be able to be knee deep in their businesses and see like, yeah, this is really working. And then we're able to share it with the other people in the organization. So I would say back in the day when
And,
I
and just to
joined up
interrupt for
with,
1 minute, I
yeah,
think
go
that's
ahead.
if everyone's hearing what I think Mark is saying is our system works in every different marketplace. And
Absolutely.
if Mark and I had a nickel for every agent that said to us, okay, I understand how that approach might work in this area, but my market is different, we would have a lot of nickels. So I know that's sort of a natural thing that we all think is that somehow your market is different, and what we're going to discuss today may not apply. But I can promise you, as Mark has said, that we have real estate agents, Craig Proctor members in every state in the United States, every province in Canada. And although we may tweak strategies slightly, let's face it, people are the same. Buyers everywhere and sellers everywhere want the same thing, right? So we're going to keep an open mind here and be careful as we talk about things that are different than maybe what you're doing, or this is a different way of thinking about your business. You're not attending our session here today to learn more about what you're doing, right? This is not about us teaching you how to get better at what you're currently doing. And after all, most of you are already pretty good at what you do, and getting better at what you do, let's face it, would only get you incremental gains. So everyone wants to change, and to understand to change means we can't keep doing what we're doing, and that's a little bit uncomfortable. And so Mark and I guide you through just kind of holding your breath and reserving judgment as we explain different approaches and how this would work for you. So, Mark, let's get into it. Tell us about the things that you're finding are working the best right now for the members that you coach.
Yeah, so in most markets, there's an inventory problem, or there certainly is a problem with getting access to the great deals that are out there for our buyers. And many times sellers also want to just get their house sold. With the advent of these iBuyers, there is a mindset of a seller just says, I don't necessarily want to list my house. I just want my house sold. Well, one of the strategies that we employ And it works. I would say this is working for probably 95% of the people I'm coaching that are doing this, which is the I have a buyer letter and I am a buyer letter. Two separate letters that Craig has come up with that we send these out on behalf of our buyers. So let's just say, so for example, I'm from the Arizona area. North Phoenix is a popular spot. Everybody wants to move into this master plan community called Desert Ridge. Well, there maybe is only 15 houses for sale in Desert Ridge, 15 to 20, let's say, but there's 18,000 homeowners in that area. Well, when a buyer says, hey, I really want to move into the Desert Ridge area, and all I can show him are the 15 or 18 houses that are on the market, there's not a very good chance that we're going to sell them a home. But what we can do, and
Well,
what Craig
plus
teaches us,
they can get access to those homes without a real estate agent.
exactly. Go to Zillow.com and they can see all of that, then go straight to the listing agent.
So let
So
me,
these,
because you said a couple
yeah,
really important things here, and I want to make sure everybody gets it. You see, Mark and I have been working together for a long time, so sometimes, when we're conversing here, some of these golden nuggets, we know it and we hear it so often, but I want to make sure that you guys really picked up on what Mark said. Two big trends have emerged over the last few years. Number one, the seller just wants to sell their home and not necessarily list it. Okay. There's a larger than ever disdain amongst home sellers to sell their home, list it, and sell it the traditional way and give up weeks or probably months of their life and their privacy. Now, we're real estate agents, and I think you would agree we don't like selling our house and moving either, or going through the process of that. So, um, better options are now available to sellers. This is something we have to compete with, right? We have iBuyer companies like Open Door and OfferPad that sell tens of thousands of houses. But you also could make that same promise to a homeowner. If you had a buyer that wanted to buy their home, how many of you would agree that to some sellers, not all of them, but that would be a really attractive offer? Instead of you saying, hey, call me, I need listings, I want to list your home. If instead you really did have a buyer for their home. Now, they're not listed yet, but they're thinking about selling. Now, as Mark said, we can send them a letter in the mail, but we could also email them. We could voice broadcast them. We could text them. We're not going to get into the details of how you communicate the message to home sellers, but I want you guys to be open to the concept. So Mark's my buyer, and he can't find anything on the market right now. How many of you would agree that you probably have a client like that? So Mark's my client. He wants to move. We can't find him a house. He's already seen everything that's on the market on the internet. I mean, that's another very important point. If you're not offering something that the buyers can get on their own, why are they interested in calling you or working with you? So when we say to buyers, we have access to homes that are not currently listed yet, and you would be the only buyer that would know about it, that is another game changer. So we have to recognize that sellers, a lot of them, would prefer to sell their home without listing it on the MLS, and buyers want to get access to homes that are not even for sale, not even available to the open public. And so these are two things that we've grabbed onto that are working quite well. And so basically, the offer you're making to the buyer is, instead of just saying, I can email you all the daily updates on MLS from all the different real estate companies, what you can add on to that is I can also get you information to unlisted, off-market, distress sales and bank foreclosure properties. And it's a free service and you're never obligated to do anything. Now, let me know in the comments below, do you believe that would be a better offer than saying, I can email you what's on the internet? I mean, think of what we've been taught to say to buyers. I provide great service. I really care about you. I'm going to email you the daily updates as they come on the market. I'm a great negotiator. This is why the great negotiator thing isn't working as well either as it used to, because now that the buyers can go to Zillow, they can go online, and they can find out all the homes that are for sale. Well, they can also find out which agent has that property listed. And some buyers assume, well, I could probably negotiate a better deal by not working with a buyer agent, but going directly to the listing agent. So I'm saying this is what they're thinking. And what Mark has been teaching our members is we're going to go around the MLS and we're going to make this unique offer to buyers that, hey, we've got something for you that you really want that you don't know how to get on your own, i.e., off market and unlisted, distress sale, and bank foreclosures. And by the way, we teach you guys how to do this because immediately, Mark, when we get in this conversation, everybody wants to jump to, I can't do this. This would be considered a pocket listing. My marketplace is different. So let me address that before you go down that pathway. We're not talking about hiding listings from MLS. Remember, we're not listing the property, right? I was saying a minute ago, you probably have clients that would like to move, but they can't find a property. If you brought them an offer for way more than what their house is worth, they still wouldn't take that offer because they'd be homeless. They'd have nowhere to go. Let me know in the comments if you have a client like that. So let's say Mark is that client. I'm the agent and Mark's the client. He's got a great listing over in Desert Ridge. I would love to list it, but he's not going to sell his home, stick a for sale sign up, or do any of that until we find him a property. But Mark is aware of all the homes that are publicly available. He's on Zillow. He's on Redfin. He's on different websites. Plus, I'm emailing him. All the other agents are emailing them properties. But if I said to Mark, hey, Mark, are you frustrated because you can't find a home to your liking? Do you feel that what you're looking at is sort of the picked over listings? Would you like access to homes that aren't even listed yet? It's a free service. You're never obligated to do anything. Mark, you probably say yes. I would like that. So that's the beginning. Now, what we do for Mark, as Mark said, is on his behalf, at zero cost or obligation to my buyer, Mark, is we email and we use direct mail, voice blast, text messages, and we communicate in the neighborhood that he's interested in. So let's say he's interested in an area called Glenway Estates. Now, would every homeowner in Glenway Estates respond? Well, no, some of them aren't selling, and some of them would never sell off market. Because I know some of you are thinking, well, not everybody that wants to sell would do this. That's fine. But if we could get 3 or 4 sellers to respond, my buyer, Mark, is only going to buy one of the properties. And I'll go over and look at the houses, the 3 or 4. And if I see one that's a good fit for Mark, we'll do the deal. Okay, but we haven't listed the property. We're just doing a commission agreement with the seller. So that is working really well. And there's different ways for you to promote it. You'll like the fact that you're getting both ends of the transaction. And you can see that you're really offering sellers, for some sellers, something that's unique that they really would prefer, which is selling off market. And for buyers, you're offering something that they want, which is access to homes that they like, that they want to have information on, that they can't get on their own. And it's not being offered by any other agent. What else is working really, really well for our members?
Yeah, and Craig, just one point on that everybody should kind of be aware of is when this message does go out to this particular area, we have 2 strategies. One is sent from the prospect or from the buyer himself or herself, and the other is being sent from us as agents saying we do have a buyer. His name is John, but sometimes we send it out. Hi, my name is John. Please reach out to my agent. So we're going to help you be able to split test this and figure out which one's going to work best for your particular area. Um, but Craig, to your other question is what else is working? Well, it's interesting when we get new people in, and they've signed up for coaching. Many times I hear, well, I just don't want any crappy Facebook leads. I don't want Instagram leads. They're all crap. And what I would say is the world lives on social media. Look at what we're doing right now. Everybody that's watching us is watching us on social media. So the leads are not crappy from Facebook, Instagram, Google, pay per click. Where the struggle comes in is number one, are we running a direct response marketing ad? Are we getting the seller or the buyer to raise their hand to something that we're offering? Most of these lead generation companies don't do that. Craig's system, Craig, I mean, this is what you were doing back in the day, even with newspapers, was direct response marketing. So number one, we've got to make sure that when people are running Facebook, Instagram ads, it is that we're offering something, a free list or a free report or access to something. Then on top of that, and this is where I think over the last 12 months, we've really pioneered a lot of things in this organization, which is what we call our conversion campaign. Craig, I was on an AI webinar just a week or two ago. And this AI company is calling real estate leads, and they have done well over 200,000 outbound calls to leads. And their number of people that they're able to connect with was 22.5%. So if a computer is only able to get 22.5% of the people to answer the phone, then you and I as humans, we're probably going to be at 22% as well, maybe a little bit less. So then the question is, well, what do we do with the other 80% of the leads that have come in? How do we get them to respond back? And Craig, I remember in April of this last year, you rolled out what you called your conversion campaign. And it was like it was just mind boggling that we can actually build something into our CRMs, use remarketing, and have our systems go out and continue to reach out to people to get them to pick up the phone and call us. So it's been a game changer for people in the system that have copied what we're doing, which is this what we're calling a conversion campaign in their CRM. It's night and day. We're seeing so many Facebook and Instagram leads converting into deals because of it. So it's been fun, and I'm a techie kind of guy, so it's been fun to be running down this path with all the members, including in our own business. So I would say that
Okay,
was probably the next thing.
more gold nuggets there. Did everybody get that? I think we would all agree it's getting more difficult by the day to reach people on the phone. Okay,
Yeah.
so how many of you would agree? Let us know in comments that it's way more difficult to get people to pick up the phone than it was even a few years ago. But we've been trained as real estate agents that we're supposed to run ads. Maybe, we run an ad on Facebook or wherever you're running your ads, and you generate a lead or you're buying leads. Perhaps you're buying leads from Zillow to get a phone number. And the idea always has been, call your brains out and try to get people on the phone. And it's getting harder and harder and harder because prospects are not answering the phone. And when they do, you're usually not well received, especially if you're buying leads because you're bothering them. You're basically positioned as an annoying pest, not a welcome guest. So agents become frustrated and depressed with calling leads when very few people answer the phone. And for the few people that they do reach, they're not having meaningful conversations. What that means is they're not making any money. They're doing a lot of things they don't like, and the agents are not getting results. So we're not suggesting don't call the leads. We give you a script. If they do pick up the phone, it's still one of the best ways to convert them, obviously.
Absolutely.
But in today's environment where people are not answering the phone or the phones aren't even ringing, a lot of the new smartphones are designed that if your phone number is not in their contacts, the phone's not even going to ring. So it's impossible for the prospect to answer your call. So what do we do in this situation? Well, here's what we teach our members. When the lead comes in, sure, call them, but you're probably not going to reach them. When that happens, we want to make sure that our automated follow-up system kicks in. And so the new lead comes in, you're going to try to call them. If you call them, great. more likely you're not going to reach them, but they're going to receive an email from you. And a couple days later, they're going to receive another email from you. And a few days later, they're going to receive another email. And sprinkled in there, there's going to be some text messages. And where allowed in your region, we sometimes can use a voice broadcast message, right? And we can use direct mail, and we could retarget prospects, if it's a Facebook ad, for example, on Facebook, so they start to see their content. Now, I know you might be thinking, well, I don't know how to do that. That's okay. But we can show you how to do it. Let's go back to these emails. What would the emails and the messages, what would they need to say? Because some of you right now might be saying, well, I do email them. I do email them. I text them. So obviously, Craig, this idea that you're talking about doesn't work. It's the content, the copy in the emails, in the text messages, in the voice broadcast, the things that you're offering in your follow-up have to really matter to prospects. Okay, so we're coming at these prospects with something that they really, really want. And to get the thing that they really, really want, our call to action is to get them to call us. So I think that's what we all would all prefer, right? Instead of calling hundreds of prospects, wouldn't it be great if the lead comes in, goes into your CRM, automated follow-up starts to happen. Emails go out, text messages go out, voice broadcasting, all these things happen. It's got nothing to do with you. So that's nice, right? How many leads could you follow up with if it had nothing to do with you? It's on autopilot. And the best prospects pick up the phone and call you to get what you're offering. So what would be some good things to offer? Well, we already talked about that. One of them would be access to unlisted and off-market homes, distress sales, bank foreclosures. Well, Craig, what if they're selling? Well, if they're selling, that would still interest most sellers because most sellers are buying before they sell. So the easiest way to get a seller to raise their hand is to get that seller to respond first as a buyer. So in theory, does this make sense to everybody? The ads themselves, wherever we run them, have to have a really good offer. So when Mark and I hear things like, Facebook sucks, Instagram, YouTube, direct mail, none of this stuff works, it's usually because your offer sucks, right? So we help you improve your offer. Well, let's be honest, right? If you've got a weak offer, doesn't matter what media you use. Now, to say that Facebook doesn't work, for example, we have agents that are making hundreds of thousands of dollars every year just on Facebook leads. So if we improve your offer, then the people that are receiving it are going to respond. Okay. Now, because we're tracking everything we teach you to do, you would know, okay, I spent, whatever, $50 on that campaign, and you would know I got a listing that sold and I made $10,000 or whatever your average commission is. That would help you become bold with your marketing, right? If you knew that you were making way more money than what the campaigns cost, you would decide, I'm going to scale it up. I'm going to ramp up my business. So it is a new approach, but here's the good news. What we're describing to you folks actually is way less work. Okay, you don't have to spend hours on the phone chasing. The ads will run without you, and the follow-up will pretty much run without you, other than you maybe trying to call them. We have some of our members that don't call the leads at all. They just let the automation kick in. One of the things that we're going to email them and text them as we're following up with the leads is a short video that shows the prospect who you are and what you do. Now let that sink in for a minute. Maybe you can explain why we do it that way, Mark.
As to who we are and what we do? Is that what your question was?
Yeah, like it used to be that we thought, well, we have to call these leads to get them on the phone. We have to call the prospect. Hopefully they pick up the phone. Then we got to convince the prospect to meet with us. Why? Well, that's the only way they're going to know who I am and what I do. But that's not really necessary today.
Yeah, with retargeting and remarketing and our campaign, we are our conversion campaign, we are getting out in front of people. So for example, an example. So if I was to run an ad in the Phoenix metro area of access to distress sales, specifically new construction. And I run the ad and I say, hey, we have access to all the great builders that are out here. Many of these homes have been sitting on the market, and the builders really want to have these homes sold. Okay. People then reach out to me and request access to that. They give me their name, phone number. Now, if we can't get them on the phone, then what happens immediately over the next 21 days is there's four different things that take place. There's an email, like Craig talks about. There's a text that goes out. There's a video email from me, and I'll tell you what that is here in a second. And then there's also a ringless voicemail. So all of this is happening over a 21-day period of time with the appearance that I'm trying to get in touch with them. And my message is always the same. Hey, you had requested access to off-market new construction. I sent you a snapshot of that. We do have a whole bunch of properties coming down the pipeline. I want to make sure I get this in your hands. If you could just give me a call back at blah, 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 this number, I'll get that set up for you. Okay, so over a 21-day period of time, I am giving them exactly what it is that they had asked for. Hey, I want more access to these off-market, builder properties. So what happens is by the time they do call me back, or by the time we connect, they have heard from my voice, they've seen my emails, they've seen text, and they've seen several video emails of me saying that. So now they're thinking, well, I already know Mark. I just got to get him on the phone to get access to this. Guys, I'm telling you, it is so much better than for me sitting on the phone 3 hours a day making just outbound phone calls. So, Craig, we use the term that our CRM is doing the heavy lifting for us. The conversion system that we have in place is doing the work to get these people to pick up the phone and call us or text us back.
Right.
So
So the
that's what happens.
the follow-up system will convert more leads through
Absolutely.
automation than a human being, than a real estate agent would just calling them on the phone, is the point we're making.
That's
We have
right.
a comment here from Tony. Tony says with the conversion campaign, we can see which of them are really serious to buy a house, so we can sift and sort the most motivated leads. Yes, obviously, the prospects that are calling you are the best ones. And so that is the new call to action. Okay, it used to be we would, drive people to a website and have them fill in a phone number, and they started giving us fake phone numbers, and then people wouldn't answer the phone. So we're going to let the system do the sifting and sorting. The emails, the text messages, etc., are going to have a video of you. Okay, and in the video, you're going to be saying, in Mark's case, Mark would say, "Hi, I'm Realtor Marc Gastineau. I work here in the Desert Ridge area. I work with my wife. I've been in real estate for X amount of years. And here's a little bit about me and what I do and what makes me different and better." And then the call to action would be, Mark would make an offer. If you'd like to get access to unlisted or off-market homes, or you'd like to know what you're going to net in your pocket when you sell your home, call me. This is my direct phone number. I'll be answering it myself. Directly, you'll be dealing with me.
Mhm.
So the automation has replaced all the struggle that most of you are going through to try to get them on the phone. But let's really take a look at this from the 30,000-foot level. Why are you trying to get them on the phone? Number one, you've been told to do that. Number two, what you've been led to believe, that's the only way they're going to know who I am, and it's the only way they're going to hire me. The only way I can tell them who I am and what I do and what makes me different or better. But that's not true. Everybody watching this right now, I'm giving you a pretty good presentation, aren't I? If you've never met me before, you've got a feel for what Mark and I are about. We're giving you really good information, and you're able to do the same thing. So we didn't call you guys to have you come here. This isn't costing me any money, but we can teach you how to do this. We can teach you how to create a video where you say, hey, this is my name, who I work for, what I do, what makes me different, what makes me better. Think about this. All the things that you would say, if you were out on a listing presentation, can be done on video? And let me ask you this. Would there be a heck of a lot more prospects in your community, in your marketplace, that would be prepared to watch a little 5-minute video about what you do, the services you provide, versus them picking up the phone and, even worse, letting you come over to the house? Way more people would watch the video than the small percentage of people that answer the phone and let you come over to the house just so you can tell them who you are and what you do. So this is the approach that we're using to generate leads. And through marketing, thousands and thousands of people will see these great offers that you're making, and then we'll follow up using this automated follow-up system where they actually get to meet you, hear what you do, what makes you different, what makes you better, and then you're going to give a strong call to action, offer them something they want. But to get the thing that they really want, they have to pick up the phone and call your cell or whatever number you offer. Wouldn't that be much better? This is what our top members are doing. And this is how you can build a big, serious real estate business without driving yourself crazy. So if you have any questions or comments on that, let us know in the chat. And again, we'll try to get to as many of them as we can. What other things seem to be working really well for our members?
So I would say, again, kind of sticking with social media, since we're on that topic here, would be Facebook Marketplace. But there's some strategies with Facebook Marketplace that if you're not careful, you're going to get yourself locked out of Facebook Marketplace. And so that's one of the things that we teach. How do you run a proper Facebook Marketplace ad and follow all the rules with Facebook and not get yourself in Facebook jail? But Craig, one of the cool things about the marketplace is that people actually go in and type in real estate for sale in Phoenix. They're actually going there and doing a search, trying to find houses because there's an inventory problem in most places. Where with the other Facebook marketing, it's interruption marketing. We're just showing up in their newsfeed. So, and the other cool thing about Marketplace is that there's no cost. It's free of charge. So I would say Facebook Marketplace is where we send a lot of people right out of the gate, especially if the budget is tight. I mean, you can't beat free.
Yes. This is a wonderful way for those of you that have, limited budget to get your message out there. Now, we want to teach you how to be as aggressive as you can on Facebook Marketplace, making strong offers. Yet again, following Facebook rules so you don't, get banned from Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
Now, the strategies involve running a picture of a house, a bit of information about the property. Doesn't necessarily have to be your listing. You could borrow a listing if you have permission from another realtor in your brokerage. And then we show you how to create what we call a double duty or a 2-in-1 ad, where you're really making this universal offer that everybody wants. Because let's face it, not everyone's going to be interested in that house you just listed last night. But what can we offer that they're always interested in? Okay, they're interested in getting information on all the homes that match their criteria, including off-market, unlisted, distress sales, bank foreclosures. Now, to get that information, they're going to message you. When they message you, your message on your end through Messenger will be, is this still available? We teach you how to convert those leads, because if you go at them with, the typical realtor stuff, do you have a realtor? Have you been pre-qualified for financing? Those kinds of obtrusive questions, as you found out, they just ghost you. So what's the sense in generating these Facebook Marketplace leads if you can't get them on the phone? Well, we teach you how to get them on the phone. There's a strategy that we use. And about 1 in every 8 Facebook Market leads will get them on the phone. And these are good leads, keep in mind. Think about the hoops they had to jump through. First of all, the prospect had to go to Facebook. Then they had to click on Facebook Marketplace. Then they had to go to Homes for Sale. Then they had to respond to your ad, and then they had to reply to you using our system here and give up their real phone number. And by the way, the phone number they give is always the correct phone number. Otherwise they wouldn't respond. They're not going to respond using our system with a fake number, they just would ghost you. So that's Facebook Marketplace. What else would you like to talk about as far as things that are working quite well?
Well, so one other thing, and we did address this just a little bit, but one of the things that I do when a new member comes in, we get their conversion system set up. So as a coach, I say, hey, put me in as a lead. I want to be a lead in your system, and I want to see exactly what is being said. How are you communicating? Basically, we're helping each member to secret shop their business. And so what's the perspective from the buyer or the seller? And Craig, one of the things that we're finding is working really well is to really take this conversion process to a much more personal level. Like you said in the video, hey, my name's Mark and my wife and we have a real estate team. So that's absolutely the case, but we can also make that even a little bit more personal. So where I would just say to you, you're the lead that Craig's the lead that comes in. We're going to change the video, which would be, and he comes in because he wants access to new construction in North Phoenix. So my video back to them that every single lead is going to get would be something like this. Hey, Marc Gastineau here. Hey, you had requested access to some new build communities. Let's just say this is a voicemail that a voice drop that we're doing. Hey, Marc Gastineau here. Hey, you had requested access to some off-market new construction homes in the Desert Ridge and north of the Desert Ridge area. Hey, just wanted to circle back with you. I know we sent you just a snapshot, but I got a few more coming down the pipeline here over this next week or so. Want to get them into your hands. Hey, just give me a buzz back at this number if you can. Hey, we'll talk to you later. So now, if you guys notice here, I didn't say, hey, Craig, hey, Joe. I just said, hey, but it sounds like when Craig gets the voicemail, like I'm personally reaching out to him. We do that same thing with text messages. Now, the cool thing with your CRM is we will mail merge in Craig's first name. Hey, Craig, Mark here. Hey, I just left you a voicemail a few minutes ago, just hoping to get you access to some off-market properties. Hey, just give me a buzz back on this number. And so Craig, that's one of the things I've been testing with the people I'm coaching is let's make this even more and more personal so that the person feels like, oh, shoot, yeah, Mark's actually trying to reach me, as opposed to it being so mechanical and sounding like I'm a realtor, with a capital R. No, I don't want that. I'm a guy that has access to off-market properties. Just give me a buzz. So Craig, I would say that's like the icing on the cake when once we've got people's system set up to really get this, customized. And the cool thing is we can do this for every single type of campaign. Let's say I'm wanting to run foreclosure ads. Well, it can be, hey, this is Mark. You'd requested access to some foreclosure properties. And so I'm customizing my language to whatever the ad was that they clicked on. I'd say that's probably the most important thing once we're up, get them up and running, Craig.
We've covered a lot of great strategies here today. Folks, if you're interested in getting more information on the Craig Proctor system, there's a couple options for you. First of all, if you are in the Greater Toronto area, on April the 3rd, I'm having a conference in Toronto, and you can go to craigproctor.com to get information on that. I mean, you can fly in from wherever, but it is going to be in the Toronto area. That's April 3rd, 2024. Also, I'd like to extend an invitation for everybody to book a call, a free breakthrough call with my team and I. And it is a business consultation where we would ask you some questions about what you're doing and how it's working. And we would give you some recommendations on how you could perhaps improve your approach using the Craig Proctor system. We believe the easiest way to prove to you that we can help you is just to actually help you, which is what today was about. We're not selling anything here today. We're just sharing with you what's working best for Craig Proctor members all over North America. And I want to thank Mark for doing this today. By the way, to book your free business breakthrough, you're going to go to proctorcall.com. So no space, proctorcall.com. And you'll see my acuity day timer. Just book a day and a time that works for you. Set aside about 45 minutes. We'll answer all your questions. It's not some big sales pitch or anything like that. We're just going to walk you through the Craig Proctor approach, see if it's a good fit for you. Keep in mind, we've created more millionaire agents than any other coach or trainer or guru or system out there. So there's something to this. There's a reason why Mark and hundreds of members have been around for 10 and 15 and 20 years. So if you want to find out more about it, again, go to proctorcall.com or visit my website at craigproctor.com. So Mark, final remarks before we wrap up this awesome interview.
Craig, I mean, this system just has impacted my life personally, and you know, this you're not paying me to be here. I know that if we can give back to other people, it's just going to make a change. And the market's tough. The market is tough right now, and when we all rally together and share what's working, it's just incredible. So, and I appreciate what you've provided to us and my family and our business over the last almost 2 decades. Been game changing.
Well, thank you very much, Mark, for doing this. I want to thank everybody for tuning in today. Let us know if you found it extremely helpful. Let us know in the comments below. Please share the city, the marketplace that you serve. We get lots of referrals inside Craig Proctor world, and we may have somebody for your marketplace. We don't keep any of the money. We just refer you guys together. But it's nice to do business with agents that know what's going on. And those are agents that are plugged into the Craig Proctor network. So we're going to wrap it up. Again, this has been another version of the Craig Proctor Real Estate Show. I've been with Marc Gastineau, superstar realtor, longtime Craig Proctor coach out of Arizona. Thank you so much for watching. And Mark, we'll see you again soon. Thank you for doing this.
See you guys.
Take care.